Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Jai Shri Radhe Govinda, Jai Shri Gauranitai, 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 Jai Shri Gauranitai, Jai Shri La Prabhupada, 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 Jai Shri La Prabhupada. Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for nice Kirtan, Nanta Mataji. Okay, Hare Krishna everyone. Welcome to Understand Gita in 18 days by ISKCON Mangaluru. You can all unmute and say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So today we will do chapter 11 of Bhagavad Gita as it is. Okay, so who is ready to? Okay, let's start with Mangalacharan first. Then I'll ask that question. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyananjan Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu Tinbandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastite. Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanuste Devi Pranamami Hari Priya. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shiva Sadika aur Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so who is ready for answering my question? 8 questions in 8 chapters. You can raise your hand. In one breath. Okay, Ashwini Mataji, go ahead. Go ahead, Ashwini Mataji, you can unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The first question is what is self? Third is what are the fruitive activities? Then what is this material manifestation? How to remember Krishna at the time of death? Then who is the Lord of sacrifice? How does he stay in the body?
Okay, those are 5 questions. Okay, or maybe 6 you said. 2 more.
What are the demigods?
Okay. Try again, Mataji. Try again. What is self?
Brahma. Fruitive. What are fruitive activities? What are material manifestation?
What is material nature, not manifestation? What is material nature? Adibhuta. Okay.
Adibhuta, right? And then who are demigods?
Adideva. Okay.
Then who is the Lord of sacrifice?
Adi
Yagya. Then how does the Lord of sacrifice stay in the body? how to
How does
how
or
to,
where does? Where does the Adi Yagna reside? That's 6. Okay, very nice. Okay.
then how to engage ourselves in devotional service at the time of death.
How to remember Adi Yagna at the time of death. Okay.
Mhm.
Prayana Kala. Okay.
Then one more. What is soul?
That's over, right, Brahman? Okay, very nice. Just very nice. 7 out of 8. It's not a bad thing. Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Let's hear Arin Indur Khya.
Yes, Mataji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
The first question is, what is Brahman, spirit? The second is, what is the fruitive activities? The third is, who is the controller of the body? The fourth is, who are the demigods?
Who is the controller of the body?
Adhyatma.
What is the nature of the self? Adhyatma.
Okay.
Okay.
Who are the demigods?
Adi
Then
Deva.
Adhyajna, who is the enjoyer of sacrifice? Then
Adi.
where does the Adhyajna reside? Then how to remember Krishna at the time of death?
Okay, that's Prayan Kale. Okay, one more.
And what is material nature?
Adi Bhuta. Very good. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Okay, so okay, Kayor Prabhu, I think you tried yesterday, so thank you. We'll start chapter 11. More response if I can get tomorrow from new devotees. So chapter 11, okay, what was the name of chapter 10 that we did yesterday? What was the name? What was the name of chapter 10?
Opulence of the absolute.
Opulence of the absolute. Vibhuti Yoga.
Very nice. Opulence of the absolute. Vibhuti Yoga. Thank you. Chapter 9, what was the name of chapter 9?
The most confidential knowledge.
Confidential knowledge.
Rajgoya Yoga.
Very nice. So chapter 11 is called Vishwarup Sandarshan Yoga, or the universal form. The color is black. I'm sorry, yellow on yellow. I'm sorry. So let's pay our obeisances. What is to Shri Radha Govinda before we proceed. This is what we did yesterday in chapter 10, Vibhuti Yoga. Krishna is unknowable and is a source of all. Pure Bhakti, essence of Bhagavad Gita, where we studied Sambandha Gyan, Avidya Gyan, and Prayojan Gyan. Where Krishna, Arjuna accepts Krishna's supreme position, and then Krishna describes his vibhutis. How many vibhutis are described in the chapter 10? How many are described in total? How many?
82. 82.
Very nice. 82 vibhutis are described. Okay, so this is chapter 11. Wait, who's unmuted? So chapter 11, Arjuna requests Krishna to show his universal form. First he requests, then Krishna describes first, and then Arjuna gets the vision of the universal form. So, and then Arjuna, after looking at the universal form, shares his experience of the universal form. And he asks a question to Krishna that, who are you? He actually cannot recognize that this is my friend. And Krishna answers that time I am, Kalu Asmi Lokokshaya Krit Pravardho. Then Arjuna prays again, goes in ecstasy again, but he prays again. And then at the end, he requests Krishna to show his 400 form and then to 200 form again. And Krishna says, pure bhakti is needed to see Krishna. This spelling is wrong, sorry. This is the first verse. Arjuna Vacha Mad Anugraya Paramam Guhyam Adhyatma Samgitam Yat Tvayoktam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. Arjuna said, I have heard your instructions on confidential spiritual matters, which you have so kindly delivered unto me, and my illusion is now dispelled. Okay, so Moho Ayam Vigato Mama. So he's saying that his illusion is now dispelled. He's not in any more illusion anymore. What illusion is dispelled? What was Arjuna confused about? Like, what is he saying? Clarifying. This is communication, right? Not like then assuming. So he's clarifying to Krishna that my illusion is dispelled. So you can write to me in the chat, like what illusion is dispelled? What was Arjun like illusioned about in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, whether to fight or whether not to fight? What were they? You can write to me. Or nobody knows. Not even one message has come. So basically, Arjun gave, one person. Arjun gave 5 reasons not to kill his kinsmen in the beginning of the chapter, 1 and 2. Okay, I apologize. So those questions are basically now answered. Basically, Arjun is saying that I'm becoming convinced of your supremacy and of your answers. So Prabhupada says at many places, today morning with the teachers, we were reading Upanishad. In that also Prabhupada was writing, I think it was verse number 5, that Krishna wants everyone to take up Krishna consciousness with intelligence, not because of pressure or because somebody else took it. We all have to have our own individual reason to take up Krishna consciousness, the practice of Krishna consciousness. Okay, we all have to have our own individual reasons. If we don't have our own individual reasons, we won't be able to stay. It's not going to become possible. We won't be able to stay and forget about advancing to whatever level. So intelligence is important and that is why Krishna consciousness is science. It is not mental speculation or concoction. It is a science. There's a process of accepting Krishna as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Arjun, now remember this, okay, 11.1, the last statement is, my illusion is now dispelled. But let's say what he says next. Oh, lotus-eyed one, I have heard, oh, by the way, I have to tell you that the slides are going to be a little busy because the chapter is big and it's mostly prayers. So there was nothing that we could have, we could have just deleted or cut short. Okay, so but the prayers are very nice. Oh, lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity, as realized through your inexhaustible glories. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see here before me your actual position, I yet wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that universal self. So Arjun first said that he is convinced that whatever Krishna has said and his illusion is dispelled. And actually he said that in 10th chapter also, when he was praying Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, that 10.12 and 13, the prayers. There also he said that he accepts Krishna as the supreme most. Here also he reconfirmed the same thing. So the question arises that if he is accepting Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, then what is making him request Krishna to show his universal form again? And universal form is a cosmic form. It's a cosmic. Cosmic means the material world where we are living. It's manifested and unmanifested. Okay, even though it is a part of Krishna, so it's in one sense it's supposed to be eternal, but it still comes into manifestation, stays for some time, and then again it becomes unmanifested. Similarly, this universal form is not really a form. It's a concept which includes the cosmic form in it. And in that way, the universal form is manifested and the universal form is unmanifested. So it's not eternal. As the cosmic manifestation is not eternal, similarly, Krishna's cosmic form, the universal form, is also not eternal. So, but Krishna's two-handed form is eternal, right? Satchidananda. So the question is, what makes Arjun ask this or request Krishna again? Please show me this form, cosmic form. If he's already convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, why is he asking Krishna to show his cosmic form? Yes, no, maybe so. This is a question. You can write to me in the chat, or if somebody knows the answer, you can raise your hand. But very quick. Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yeah, because Krishna wanted to show his this supreme form through Arjuna. He wanted us to know. That's why it was all planned by Krishna to show others his supreme form through Arjuna. Arjuna knows the truth of Krishna, but it's for us people to know the supreme form.
So we can say, okay, for us to set a equivocal supremacy of Krishna, okay, we can take that one of the reasons to establish the equivocal supremacy that Krishna indeed can show his universal form. Okay. Anything else? Okay, thank you, Mataji. Anything else or anyone else, including the co-host? Karthik Prabhu and Rupa Mataji. Am I audible? Because his silence is a little bit...
Yes, Mataji.
Oh, I'm audible. Okay. Okay, but I'm selectively audible, right? If I am audible, if somebody knows the answer, and I'm not audible.
You want to show the next generations also, like this is the to show his original form and opulences to the next.
So cosmic form is not the original form of Krishna. Cosmic form is a manifested form. So to show that, yeah, but I take your point, to show the next or to show in future. So basically what you're saying is to set criteria.
Criteria that it is not a imaginary thing that Arjuna saw, but it is a real thing that everyone should know about.
That should know. Okay. Okay. I mean, okay, but the Prabhupada writes in 11.3 of this particular verse.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
One second, Mataji. Karthik Prabhu, what you're saying is what, please tell me if I am understanding it correct, that to establish the equivocal supremacy of Krishna or to establish a criteria that in future, if somebody says I'm God, then they have to show the universal form to prove that I'm God. So that's a criteria.
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's the second reason. Yes, Rupa Mataji, what other reason? I'm sorry.
Yes, Mataji, one thing is for everyone to know that he is the Supreme Lord. Another thing is Krishna was talking about his inconceivable potencies and so many things. So Arjuna wanted to see something that he could perceive. So is that right? Something that, where he could see Krishna in that magnanimous form, so that, it's for us and for him also, so that he could see it once.
But then he already said, right, my illusion is not dispelled. So why is he asking?
His bodily concepts are gone.
Yeah.
So basically through him, we are all able to understand this potency of Krishna.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. So that was over. So for others to establish the equivocal supremacy of Krishna, and then to set a criteria for future generation, if somebody says I'm God, then they should be able to show the universal form. There are more reasons. And Krishna showed the universal form because Arjuna requested it to please Arjuna. So he's Bhaktavatsala, he wants to please his devotees. And also he wanted to encourage Arjuna to fight. In the universal form, he's going to see that all the people who are assembled in the battlefield are going to die anyway. Their death is already destined. It's not that Arjuna has to fight the war for them to die. So these are the four reasons. One is to set the equivocal supremacy of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Number two, to set a criteria that if in future somebody says I'm God, then you have to show, ask them, okay, if you say you're God, then show your universal form. And number three, to please Arjuna. And number four is to encourage Arjuna to fight. The blessed Lord said, my dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, behold now my opulences. But till verse number 6, verse number 6, Arjuna is requesting Krishna to show the universal form. Okay, and the various reasons that I cited are already given between verse 2 to verse 6. And now Krishna is going to first describe the form. Before he shows the form, he's going to describe it to Arjuna. The blessed Lord said, my dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, behold now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of varied divine form, multicolored like the sea. Whatever you wish to see can be seen all at once in this body. This universal form can show you all that you have now desired, as well as whatever you may desire in the future. Everything is here completely. But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give to you divine eyes by which you can behold my mystic opulence. So Arjuna is requesting, Krishna is accepting the request, and he's saying that, yes, I'm going to show you, and this is going to be the thing that you're going to see, that everything that you desire now or in future, everything is here completely. Do we have an experience of something in our life where we can see everything in one particular place? Everything. See, the universe where we are staying, this particular universe, is scattered everywhere, right? The sun is somewhere else, the moon is somewhere else, the Mars is somewhere else, the Jupiter is somewhere else, Earth is somewhere else. But then here, everything comes together and we see everything at one place. Do you have an experience of it somewhere in this material world? Yes, no?
No.
No.
So it's inconceivable, right? Thank you. Inconceivable. So inconceivable means we cannot conceive it with our mind or intelligence or senses. We cannot. So if we, so this is an inconceivable potency of Krishna, that he can show everything which is scattered all over the material manifestation in just one place right there. And it's not a concept, it's not a theory, it's a fact. So Krishna, Arjun gets the divine eyes, and then he shows the universal form. And Sanjay is reporting it to Dhritarashtra, right? So he says this: Sanjay vacha evam yukta tato rajan maha yogeshwaro hari darshayamsha parthaya paramam rupam ashwaram. Sanjay said, O king, speaking thus, the supreme, the lord of all mystic power, the personality of Godhead, displayed his universal form to Arjun. So Sanjay is a devotee. So he is sitting very calm and reporting it to Dhritarashtra. Now Dhritarashtra is hearing that Krishna is going to show his universal form, and he becomes like shocked that, oh my God, Krishna is going to show the universal form. So that means there's going to be devastation. So he gets very concerned and bewildered, and Arjun is put together and calm. So that is how the universal form is perceived. Arjun saw in that universal form unlimited mouths and unlimited eyes. It was all wondrous. The form was decorated with divine dazzling ornaments and arrayed in many garbs. He was garlanded gloriously, and there were many scents smeared over his body. All was magnificent, all expanding, unlimited. This was seen by Arjun. If hundreds of thousands of suns rose up at once into the sky, they might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. So this is the universal form, that divine dazzling ornaments arrayed in many garbs, garlanded gloriously, and many scents smeared over the body, and all expanding, expanding and unlimited. It's forever expanding, and it is unlimitedly expanding. Our body, material body, also expands, right? The body grows. It's not a development, it's a change. Change is different than development. So our body also grows, right? Based on the presence of the soul, from the baby to youth onto the old age. So that way, but our body grows only to a limited dimension, at least some things which we cannot control at all. Like we cannot control our height to a great extent. We cannot. Right, we cannot like go on stretching ourselves and unlimitedly become tall. Even if somebody takes a growth hormone injection, the average height increases about 0.5 to 1.5 centimeters. So it doesn't grow unlimited. Okay, and our hands and legs also grow to a certain limit. But some things which we can control, which can grow unlimited, actually that also cannot be grown unlimitedly, is the weight, okay, or the hair or the nails. Some people set up the records. So those things, but we cannot say that we can go on growing unlimitedly and go on growing, expanding, and we can show everything in our body which was there previously. So only a foolish person thinks that Krishna has a human body. Because if human body definition is already in front of us, this is Prataksha Praman, like seeing is believing, it is there. So how can we say that the universal form of the Lord is or Krishna is human being, or Krishna is superhuman? Both are wrong, because human being, of course, I just explained, is very limited, and superhuman also cannot show everything at one place. Krishna is beyond both. Krishna is transcendental to both of them. Okay. So don't mistake. And Krishna's body is effulgent. Our body is so dark, tama. We need the external source of light to be able to see our own self. If it is a dark room with no light source, nothing, how many of you can see your own hand? It's very, imagine you're in a very dark room.
We
How
can't
many
see.
of you can't see? Thank you. So we can't see even our own hand in a dark room, because we are in a total ignorance and total darkness. And Krishna reminds it again and again. He reminds it, but then foolish person thinks that this is normal. This is normal thing in the life. But Krishna's body is self-effulgent. At that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord, the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands. So this is what I was saying, that everyone was situated in the universal form of Krishna. Everyone, all the living entities, moving, unmoving, all demigods, all the planets of this cosmic manifestation, everywhere. Everything came together. Then Arjuna expresses his feelings. So then, bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna began to pray with folded hands, offering obeisances to the Supreme Lord. So this is the second time that Arjuna's hair is standing on the end, right? Arjuna's hair was standing before also. When was that? When was that Arjuna's hair was standing? You can write to me in the chat or raise your hand. See here, Arjuna's hair was standing on the end. So his hand, when was that? Before. Manish Mishra Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Wasn't
Hare
it,
Krishna.
ma'am, Mataji, when he asked Lord Krishna to take his chariot in the middle of in the middle of both the armies, and then he saw all his in the first, and then he said, my Gandhi is falling apart, my mouth is drying up, and I can't feel energy. My hair are standing up. You know, I'm getting goosebumps. I don't know what to say. I can't fight. I can't do this.
Yes, very nice. Yes, perfectly. So that time the hair was standing in because of the material misery. You know, he was saying that my Gandiva bow is slipping because of the sweating. So in first chapter, but here when the hair is standing in end, it means it's out of ecstasy. It's bewildered and astonished. So Adbhuta, this is a secondary rasa. The primary rasa of a living entity, or a primary relationship of a living entity with Krishna, is divided into 5 categories. Now, this is a subject matter of nectar of devotion, but just to know, a living entity can relate to Krishna in one of the 5 ways. One is the Shantaras, like for example, the earth where Krishna walks is serving Krishna in very in silence. And then the second, when it develops into Dasyaras. Dasyaras means becoming servant of Krishna, like actively, like the cows are actively serving Krishna by giving milk or by being pampered by him, something like that. But when Dasyaras develops, it develops into Sakhyaras. So one becomes friend with Krishna. That's Arjuna. And Sakhyaras develops, then it develops into Vatsalyaras. That's becoming parents of Krishna, like Mother Yashoda, Nand Maharaj, Devaki, Vasudev, like that. And the highest rasa, or the highest relationship that a living entity can have with Krishna is Madhurya Ras, which is conjugal love, where all the gopis, the manjaris, and Radharani, all these devotees come. Okay, these are the 5 primary rasas. So Arjuna shares Sakhya Ras with Krishna. Arjuna was friends with Krishna. He was serving Krishna as being his friend. But there are 7 secondary rasas. So these are 5 primary rasas, and 7 secondary rasas are all feelings. Adbhuta, like anger, or this bewilderment, or wonder. I don't remember all, but these are the feelings. So here, from Sakhiras, his feeling, his attachment to Krishna is now becoming like one of the 7 secondary rasas. He's kind of going to forget that he's friends with Krishna. That is why he's bewildered and astonished. Arjun said, my dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled together in your body all demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and many sages and divine serpents. O Lord of the universe, I see in your universal form, universal body, many, many forms, bellies, mouths, eyes expanded without limit. There is no end, there is no beginning, and there is no end, there is no middle to all this. Your form, adorned with various crowns, clubs, and discs, is difficult to see because of his glaring effulgence, which is fiery and immeasurable like the sun. So this is the report that Arjuna is giving. So in future, if somebody says, I'm God, and you tell them, okay, show your universal form, then check mark. These are the things which we have to see, that which are present in a universal form, not like artificial makeup and decoration. You are the supreme primal objective. You are the best in all the universes. You are inexhaustible and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of religion, the eternal personality of Godhead. You are the origin without beginning, middle, or end. You have numberless arms, and the sun and moon are among your great unlimited eyes. By your own radiance, you are heating this entire universe. So again, he's praying and he's glorifying. So that's the nature of a devotee. When a devotee goes in ecstasy, either in primary or secondary rasa, they always end up praying Krishna. They always glorify Krishna. They don't suffer. There's no suffering in Krishna consciousness. They're glorifying that Krishna, you're so nice, you're so big, you're so good. Although you're one, you're spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. O great one, as I behold this terrible form, I see that all planetary systems are perplexed. So there's a very big myth in Krishna consciousness that if somebody comes to Krishna consciousness, then they have to leave their feelings, right? I have heard it so many times that, okay, then that means that I'll have to leave my worldly enjoyment. I have to leave my job. I have to leave my family. I have to leave. Oh, the bucket list of leaving is so worrisome that people don't come. But here that myth is actually getting slashed one by one by example of Arjun being the recipient of Bhagavad Gita. Arjun is a family man. Arjun is a fighter. Arjun is a ruler. And Arjun does not hesitate in expressing his feelings to Krishna. None of them is true, whatever people think. So he's expressing that this form is terrible. This is the real relationship. All the demigods are surrendering and entering into you. They are very much afraid, and with folded hands, they are singing the Vedic hymns. So even the demigods who are devotees are also singing. O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your many faces, eyes, arms, bellies, and legs, and your terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I. So this is the second time that Arjuna is expressing his feeling that I am disturbed. This form is terrible. All-pervading Vishnu, I can no longer maintain my equilibrium. Seeing your radiant colors fill the skies and beholding your eyes and mouths, I am afraid. So he's disturbed, he's afraid. So many words he's using to express his feelings. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings and Bhishma, Drona, and Karna, and all our soldiers, are rushing into your mouth, their heads smashed by your fearful teeth. I see that some are being crushed between your teeth as well. So everyone is like rushing in Krishna's mouth, and everyone is getting smashed between Krishna's teeth. And Arjun can see all that. Basically, Krishna is showing the future. This is something like, when I was a little girl, there used to be a show on TV, which I don't watch anymore, by the way, but the Arabian Nights. So in that, they show the crystal ball, right? And the crystal ball lady with the crystal ball can show the future of a person coming to her. So this is something like that this is like the future of the war. So Arjun was thinking that he's the doer, and he's going to be, and he was thinking because he's the doer, that means he was also going to be the one who is going to be responsible. That's why he didn't want to fight. He didn't want to take the responsibility of creating calamity after the fight was over. But Krishna is very clearly showing it to him that he's not the doer. Then what is Arjun? If he's not the doer and it is not dependent on him, the lives of all these people mentioned in this verse, are not dependent on Arjuna fighting or not fighting. So what is Arjuna? We'll see it in a bit, that what is Arjun, what is Arjun's position in all this. As the rivers flow into the sea, so all these great warriors enter into your blazing mouths and perish. So they're dying. Then he asked Krishna a question, that who are you? Who are you? So I don't recognize who you are, because Krishna that he's used to seeing is very pleasing and very calm. So Krishna answers this. The blessed Lord said, time I am, destroyer of the worlds, and I have come to engage all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all soldiers here on both sides will be slain. So Krishna is showing that everyone will be slain except you 5 Pandavas. So time factor is a representation of devastation. Slowly, time destroys everything. Everything in this material world is under the influence of time. Right? If you have seen very monumental buildings in wherever place you're situated right now, and there's a history behind those buildings. And then when you go visit like the Taj Mahal or the Red Fort or Fatehpur Sikri or whatever, or in South India, there are so many temples. You go and see, they look damaged, right? The property, which is very supposed to be very sturdy and strong, is getting damaged. Do you have that experience? Like they have to keep on polishing to maintain it or repair.
Yes.
Damaged. So what is damaging? The time factor damages. Similarly, the time factor acts on us too, on our body. Like the body is born and the body is going to die. So the time will destroy. It's just a matter of the time that this is coming. But only Krishna conscious activities are free from the influence of time. There is no time factor on Krishna conscious activities, no time factor at all. The Krishna conscious activities are always preserved. They are not dependent, they are not created. They just have to be developed. There is a difference between developing and creating. The word used is develop or manifest. From next chapter onwards, when we will start reading the qualities of a devotee that endear Krishna, there we will see that those qualities are not created. Those qualities are there in the Atma. They are there in every one of us. In Atma, those qualities are there, but they become developed, they become manifested as one advances in Krishna consciousness. Or each one of us have that, but depending on our faith and knowledge, these are the only 2 things which define what adhikar or what kind of a devotee one person is. What is the level of one's faith in the conviction of Krishna consciousness, and what is the corresponding knowledge, which means intelligence. But here, coming back to the time discussion, time is very powerful. There's nothing more powerful than time. So many rulers came, so many people came to rule the world or to claim the property of Krishna as their own. Prabhupada gives example of that man in France, Alexander the Great. Prabhupada was in France, and this Alexander the Great, his statue was there. So he said, okay, France is there, and Alexander the Great statue is there, but where is he? Where is he? He was so great that he couldn't even defy his own death. So time is going to destroy. But so what is Arjun's position? This is Arjun's position. Remember, I just asked that if Arjun is the war or the result of war is not dependent on Arjun, then what is his position actually in all this? So this is our position too. Tasmat means therefore. Therefore means it is a continuation from previous talk or previous discussion. Tasmat tvam utishta yasho labasva jitva shatrun bhukshva rajyam smridham mayeva ete nihata purvam eva nimitta matram bhavisavya. Therefore, get up and prepare to fight. Tasmat tvam means you. Utishta means get up. Yasho labasva. Yasho means earn the fame all over. After conquering your enemies, you will enjoy a flourishing kingdom. Jitva shatrun. Bhukshva rajyam smridham. Jitva shatrun. Shatrun means enemy. Jitva means conquering or winning. What are you going to do after you conquer? Bhukshva rajyam smridham. A very flourishing kingdom is waiting for you. They are already put to death by my arrangement. Right? Krishna already showed it to Arjun that they're already put to death by my arrangement. So, O Savyasachin, you and you, O Savyasachin, can be but an instrument in the fight. Nimitta matran bhave Savyasachin. That's all. So, Krishna, Arjun, and us too, we think, and we really think, and we lead our life with that thought that I am the doer. Whatever I'm doing is the activity. I am the cause of the activity, and I am doing the activity, and I'm also supposed to enjoy the result of the activity. But Krishna is very clearly speaking here that you're just an instrument, not the doer or not the initiator. You're an instrument in the fight, because this is directly under Krishna's supervision. So Arjun Krishna is clearly saying that you're just an instrument. But that doesn't mean that if some people are doing vikarmic activities or activities which are not supposed to be done are also done as an instrument to Krishna. No, their soul has a free will. Soul has to take an initiative to go to Krishna. But that particular soul which is doing vikarmic activity or activities which are forbidden, they are not devotional activities. They are still going to keep that person very much in the material world, probably in the lower species of life, because of their vikarmic activities. But here we are talking about devotional activities. What is directly given, a direct order from Krishna or Krishna's representative, which is a spiritual master. Those are devotional activities, and those can make us an instrument in the hands of God. So here we can see this scalpel in the hand of a surgeon, right? So when the surgeon is doing a surgery, he or she, they're moving the scalpel. They're cutting here, cutting there, cutting there. So can we say that scalpel, this particular blade or scalpel, is the doer? Or we say surgeon is the doer? Who is the doer?
Surgeon is the doer.
Surgeon is the doer.
Scalpel is the instrument.
Doctor, it is an
Scalpel is the
instrument.
instrument. Very nice. So surgeon is the doer. So like that, we are actually an instrument right now in the hands of Maya or illusion that moves us, right? The mind moves us. The nature of the mind, when it is not thick with Krishna consciousness, devotional service, is to be always doing two things. What are the two things? Bhoga and Tyaga, accepting something and rejecting something, accepting something and rejecting something. So there are the only two activities that the mind is doing, which is not saturated with Krishna consciousness. For making arrangements, the mind is so contaminated right now, it's making arrangements to live in this material world. But a person in Krishna consciousness who's chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra according to the rules and regulations can actually see that this is not what I really want to do. This is what mind wants to do, but I'm different from the mind. I want to do something which will take me to Krishna. So each one of us can be an instrument voluntarily in the hands of Krishna. Right now, we are involuntary instruments in the hands of Maya and moving us from one life to another life, from one situation to another situation, always trying to improve our situation in some way or the other. Srila Prabhupada says this, that each one of us are trying to come out of certain situation in the life. Each not only human being, but even an animal, they're also trying to improvise their living situation, right? He said that an ant makes a hole in a room, and Brahma makes the whole cosmic manifestation. But both are material. Both are not needed. The whole of an ant or this cosmic manifestation done by Brahma, because we actually belong to the spiritual kingdom. And the way to go there is to do the devotional activity. You see, if you want to move around somewhere in this planet from one country to another country, there's so many rules and regulations. One may say, oh, I'm so free, I'm not going to follow. But is that a very good intelligence when somebody says, I'm so free, I'm not going to follow? When you want to move from India to some other place on earth. So like that, if it is true for a place here, which is so material, how much true it will be for going back to Goloka Vrindavan? There is a discipline to be followed. There is a need for discipline. And how do we do that? We become an instrument in the hands of Krishna. So we all can do that. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given each one of us an opportunity, especially if somebody has Indian origin. because India is a land of piety, right? There's a lot of piety there. There's a lot of tapasya that has been done in self-realization. It actually represents a model to the whole world as to how to how to lead a spiritual life in the material world. But Indians are forgetting that, and even though we are doing this course for free, only handful of people are coming forward. If you go to a market and you see that we wait for the sale to come, right? If somebody is going to market and they want to buy something expensive, say, okay, I will go back when there is a sale, right? It's not that a common person will say like that. Like I would say like that. Let me wait for the sale. Somebody has a lot of disturbance on the background. I do want to unmute everyone periodically, but please, if you have a disturbance on your background, please don't unmute yourself. So we wait for the sale. So this is a sale of Krishna consciousness. Now, if I want to go to Goloka Vrindavan, this particular Kali Yuga where we are is called Golden Kali Yuga. Because this particular Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he gave us the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is Rupa Goswami Prabhupada prays to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like this: Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Padaite Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvishe Namaha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's saying, Namo Mahavadanyaya, you are the merciful incarnation, the most merciful incarnation. You are distributing freely the holy name of Krishna. And whoever takes up that goes to Krishna. We just don't trust. That's the faith, where we solidify our faith. The whole life is supposed to be spent in solidifying that faith. At the end of the day, we must see that where was I a day before in terms of my faith in Krishna conscious practice, and where am I today? And day by day, we must mark our, at least from our end, we must try to go to Krishna. If not, then we lose a chance. I said this yesterday, right? Hari Hari Bifala Janama Paya Guaya, Bifala Janama Guaya, Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya, Janiya Shuniya, Vishab Khaya. This is a misleading civilization. Once we did a survey, okay, with other devotees when I was young in Krishna consciousness. So we did this survey that, okay, if somebody is living in a very thickly populated city, and how many times a day is the mind getting these impulses of sense enjoyment? So, when somebody is, let's say, driving on the road in a city, in a countryside, it's different because there are no such roadside banners or billboards. So the person is driving on the road, and then they are just trying to go to the destination from one place to another place. But then they see this advertisement, the billboard showing the advertisement, iPhone 13 on discount. So this person wasn't really looking for the iPhone 13 or this one, but the civilization is such that now there is this impulse which has gone to the mind, and now mind starts contemplating, oh, maybe I really need to change this phone. Maybe this phone is not good anymore. And then they go a little further, and then they see the big 50-inch or 75-inch screen Apple TV. So person has a TV at home, but then they're like, okay, maybe this is what I need to work for. So my motivation to work for is to bring that machine in my house so that my entertainment can increase. Or it goes on, tarnished jewelry on sale. It goes on and on and on and on. It never ends. So we did the survey to look like, okay, so how many times a day this mind is getting these many stimulus? And the number was ranging, depending on where one lives in city, was somewhere from 10,000 to 1 lakh impulses every day. So every single day, a person is living in that city, they get this desire to enjoy senses 10,000 to 1 lakh times a day. So where is Krishna? So this is so amazing, right? So amazing, that very shanti. That's really amazing, right? That we don't even realize, but these things are happening to us. So it's a very misleading civilization. And this is what real civilization is, that how we can become instrument in the hands of Krishna and spread this Krishna conscious movement. Each one of us have this responsibility. having in touch with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that now you propagate, you take it. You got it, now you give it to the third person. And the third person, okay, you got it, now you give it to the third person. But now you're not like, okay, I got it, I'm going to keep it myself inside the house and I'm going to lock myself and I'm going to be secretly chanting. No, no, no. Hare Krishnas are called as very loud people. Like we are called as very loud people. We chant very loudly. We just go on the streets and we just start playing mridanga and very loudly. Some people say that, oh, this is a loud noise, but we don't care. We don't care because that is the order. Okay, so order carrier, and that is what nimitta matra means. So Arjuna's his position is just to follow the order of Krishna, not to modify. So the blessed Lord said, all the great warriors, Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna are already destroyed. Simply fight and you will vanquish your enemies. So he's encouraging Arjuna to fight. Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna trembled, fearfully offered obeisances with folded hands and began faltering to speak as follows. So he's now going to say prayers. This is a very nice prayer, 11.36. O Rishikesha, the whole world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. So we have heard of many wonderful people in our life so far. Very good nationalist, very good teacher, very good family person, very good neighbor, very good whatever. But have you heard something like this? That the whole world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Something like this. Have you heard something like this? Yes.
No.
Not possible. This is
Not
Krishna.
possible.
Only Krishna. Only Krishna can. This is applicable only to Krishna, and Krishna has that power. We try to imitate Krishna, but we have to draw boundaries because we cannot imitate Krishna. We cannot become Krishna. If somebody is in trouble, we rush to help them. But we really can't really help them. I've seen it so many times in my life. Let's say that parents love their children most, right? They love their children, but sometimes the children have a disease, and they have to suffer the pain of the disease. So parents try to help, being very close and loving to the child. They try to help. They try to arrange the best of the physician, the best of whatever their abilities. They try to do the best in whatever situation they are in, but they're not really able to help. The real help comes from the Paramatma. Okay, so we in that way, there is always a boundary between a living entity and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and a devotee honors that boundary. Krishna, whatever you desire, but my prayer is this. Whatever you desire is acceptable, but my prayer is, please let me remember your holy name. And that is the surrender. Not like if Krishna is an order carrier, and if Krishna fulfilled my desire, then Krishna is God and I am very attached to him. And if Krishna has not fulfilled my desire, then I don't believe in him. That's not devotion, and that's not surrender. That's business. Okay. O great one who stands above even Brahma, you are the original master. Why should they not offer their homage up to you? O limitless one, O refuge of the universe, you are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. So he's in ecstasy, saying the same thing again and again and again. You are the original personality, the Godhead. You are the only sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You know everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are above the material modes, O limitless form. This whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. So there is Krishna everywhere. Krishna's energies are everywhere. A non-devotee says, I said this before, show me God. And a devotee says, tell me a place where there is no God. Where is that place? He is in my heart. He is the ability in me. He is giving me the ability to do what I'm doing. He is giving me the light, the sun, the vegetables, the fire of digestion, everything, my memory, my intelligence. Where there is no God, where is it? So I have in the past addressed you as, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, without knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times while relaxing or while lying down on the same bed or eating together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. Please excuse me for all my offenses. So he's in the secondary rasa, right? Otherwise, in Sakhya's friends do that to friends. They address each other with loving names and they eat together, they lie together, they do all these things. But now, right now, because of universal form, he's in wonder and astonished and bewildered. The secondary rasas are prominent. So he's saying like this. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. So he's saying, "Bahut ho gaya. I can't, I'm now disturbed with fear. It's fine. Thank you for showing me the supremacy, and I really adore that form, but I would really associate with the original form. O universal Lord, I wish to see you in your four-arm form, with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form." So he's requesting specific. This is a specific request. This is a communication skill, actually. There is a leadership book on Bhagavad Gita, which International Leadership Sangha, the ISKCON, has this program every year in Mayapur in January, February, I think maybe February, where they teach the spiritual leadership. And in that book is read. I have the book. And one of the things in that book was that the communication, a leader is very clear in its communication. So this is very specific request Arjuna is making. He's not saying, show me your other form. He's like, show me a form which has all these elements. And this is a very good way to communicate. So we have to make a specific request, even amongst each other when we talk. O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifice, nor by charities or similar activities can this form be seen. Only you have seen this. So Krishna is saying this again. Krishna said this verse somewhere before. Anyone remembers that he can only be known by pure devotional service and not by studying the Vedas, not by performing sacrifices, not by giving charities or any other similar activities. Where was it? Anyone remembers? You can raise your hand. Where was it that Krishna said the same thing to Arjuna before? Which chapter was that? Yes, Anjana Mataji.
Bhakti Yoga chapter.
No, Mataji, the chapters which you have already covered. I haven't covered Bhakti Yoga yet. That's chapter 12.
Okay.
He says there too, I agree. But where was this?
In chapter 2 also he says this. No.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Lakshmi Prasad, Mataji. Yes, Mataji, where was it?
Chapter 8, Mataji.
Which verse? I don't remember verse in chapter 8 with nor by studying the Vedas. Maybe you're right. I don't know, but I don't recollect at this time. Do you know the verse?
No, Mataji.
Okay, thank you. Maybe I'll check and get back. Shri Priya Mataji, yes. Which chapter?
Mataji. 9.4. Manmana. 9.4.
There he's saying that you meditate on me on 4 things, but he's not saying neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity or similar activities can this form be seen. Only you. Okay, so where was this particular thing? Thank you, Mataji. So, will you find out or should I answer? Will you find out or should I answer?
No, answer, madam.
Everybody's lazy. Just answer. Okay, I was expecting you'll see, give us a day and we'll find out. Anyway, the last verse in 6th chapter. Yoginam api sarvesham mad bhaktar antaratmanaha shraddhavan bhajate yomam yume yuktato samaha. So there in the Prabhupada writes that none of the activities of studying the Vedas or performing sacrifices or giving charities can actually please Krishna to show us his original form. No, none of them. Because what charity can you do for Krishna? Krishna is the proprietor, he's the richest. And what kind of Vedic knowledge? He is the origin of the Vedas. And what kind of like karma conduct sacrifices can please Krishna? Like that is for sense gratification. So what pleases Krishna? What pleases Krishna? It's a question actually. What pleases Krishna? Okay, if you know the answer, you can write to me in the chat. What pleases Krishna? Your mind, if these things are not pleasing Krishna enough to show us his original form, so what is really pleasing Krishna? Your mind has been perturbed upon seeing this horrible feature of mind. So Krishna is validating that this form is indeed horrible. Now let it be finished, my devotee, be free from all disturbance. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. So Krishna reveals the form exactly according to what Arjuna requested. And this form is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. That is why we should have Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Narad Muni says, if somebody has Srimad Bhagavatam in their house, it's as good as Krishna himself. This is written in chapter 12 of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Chapter 12 of Nectar of Devotion. Open the book. First paragraph, Prabhupada writes there. Narad Muni says this. So why are we hesitating to bring Krishna? This form is described in so many places in Srimad Bhagavatam. Dhruva Maharaj, when he sees this form, it is described. And in third canto, when there is a description of Aniruddha, the Lord of the mind, this form is described. Then in sixth canto, where there is Chitraketu, Chitraketu sees this form, that this form is described. And in so many other, when Lord Shiva is describing, this form is described. So many places, it becomes established, that Krishna becomes established in the heart. So again, I'm requesting, get Srimad Bhagavatam. This is going to be a lifelong, actually, it's going to be an investment, not for lifelong, for generations. We try to do stuff for our generation, right? Build a nice house, or try to do fixed deposit in the bank, or try to inculcate the cultural norms into our family, whatever is going on from one generation to another. So now from you starts a new thing in your generation, is to read Srimad Bhagavatam from one generation to another generation to another generation. How will it happen if you don't have it? So Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, while speaking thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-arm form, and at last he showed him his two-arm form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. So we are almost done. When Arjuna saw Krishna in his original form, he said, seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful, my mind is now pacified and I am restored to my original nature. The blessed Lord said, my dear Arjuna, the form which you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. So this is what pleases Krishna. Pure devotional or undivided devotional service, Ananya Bhakti, which is also a matter of discussion actually. What is undivided devotional service? Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Jnana karma adi anavritam. Anukulena Krishna anushilanam bhaktir uttama. This is the verse where we study each and every word. Anya abhilashita shunyam. You cannot see my screen, but I am sharing my screen. Somebody is writing to me, they cannot see my screen. Is my screen visible to everyone, please?
Yes,
Yes,
it is visible now.
Yes, ma'am. Your screen is visible.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, no other desire. Jnana Karma Adi Anavritam, free from Jnana and Karma and etc. Not free, but Jnana and Karma activities are allowed as long as they don't become obstacle in the practice of devotional service. But they are allowed only this much. Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam, so favorable bhakti. Krishna Anushilanam Bhaktir Uttama, that devotional service is the pure devotional service. Which I think I'll try to explain that verse tomorrow in the Bhakti Yoga chapter. Anyway, this is the preliminary thing, that only by pure devotional service. Bhaktya tve ananya sakhya aham eva vidho Arjun gyatvam drishtam cha tatvena praveshtam cha parantapa. My dear Arjun, only by undivided, so ananya, undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. Mat karma krin mat paramo mat bhakta sangha varjita nirvay sarva bhuteshu yasa mam eti pandavaha. My dear Arjun, one who is engaged in my pure devotional service, free from the contamination of previous activities and from mental speculation, who is friendly to every living entity, certainly comes to me. So Krishna wants us to come to him. So he keeps on saying that take to this and then you come to me. So nice. Bhagavad Gita is very nice. Bhagavad Gita understanding is so nice, and Bhagavad Gita understanding is ever expanding and unlimited. No matter how many times you read it, how many times you hear it, how many times you try to understand it, there is something new. Nava, like everything new. A material novel or a book you read once and then there's not much to get out of it again and again. So Arjun requests Krishna to show his universal form from verse 1 to 4. Drashtam ichhami te rupam. I want to see that form. And we discussed 4 reasons why Arjun is requesting again. And Krishna describes his universal form from verse 5 to 8. Bahuni adrishta purvani. Then gives him the divine vision to see the universal form. Then Arjuna's vision of the universal form from 9 to 14. Aneka adbhuta darshanam. Where Arjuna is seeing the universal form. Then Arjuna's experience of universal form from 15 to 31 verse. Vritvim na vindami samam cha Vishnu. Where he says his relationship with Krishna changes from primary to secondary rasa. And he asks Krishna, who are you? And then Krishna's Chaitanya. Krishna replies that I am the time. 32 to 34. Kalo asmi lokakshaya krit pravartho. And then Arjun prays from verse 35 to 46. Sagadam bhitta pranamaya. Then pure bhakti is needed to see Krishna from 47 to 55th verse. Bhaktya te ananya sakhya. This is the summary of 11th chapter. Please read this chapter today. Just read it. At least read the translation. Will take maybe like 10-20 minutes.